Trump is into Scotland to golf. Meet UK's Starmer, NPR. President Trump's 4-day trip to Scotland, encompassing personal visits to his golf courses and diplomatic meetings with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, is overshadowed by the ongoing Jeffrey Epstein controversy. Trump has dismissed the issue as not a big thing, despite facing increasing pressure, particularly from within his own political base, to release more information about his past relationship with Epstein. He maintains his focus is on the meetings, aiming to refine a trade deal with the UK and potentially reach an agreement with the EU on tariffs. Despite Trump's attempts to downplay the Epstein matter, the controversy continues to follow him. Protests are planned during his visit, and reporters have pressed him on the issue, including questions about a reported briefing from Attorney General Pam Bondi. Trump denies any knowledge of such a briefing and insists he's not considering pardons. The timing of the trip to Scotland presents a potential opportunity for Trump to deflect attention from the scandal. However, with the British media likely to extensively cover the story, this strategy's success remains uncertain. Republican pollster John McHenry points out that while the Epstein issue may not be a top priority for most Americans, concerns about potential White House cover-ups remain significant. Trump's meetings with Starmer and von der Leyen will focus on trade. While Trump describes the UK trade deal as already concluded, the meeting with von der Leyen regarding EU tariffs carries a notable uncertainty, with Trump himself estimating a 50-50 chance of reaching an agreement. The visit's ultimate success, both diplomatically and politically, hinges significantly on how Trump navigates the persistent Epstein questions.
In our next story, why Yankees jumped on Ryan McMahon trade and gave up on Eugenio Suarez. The New York Yankees prioritized bolstering their pitching staff over acquiring a high-profile third baseman. While they admired Eugenio Suarez, the intense competition for his services, particularly from the Chicago Cubs, led them to believe the price would escalate significantly closer to the trade deadline. This risk, coupled with a desire to preserve their top pitching prospects, prompted them to pursue a different strategy. Instead, the Yankees traded 2 lower-level pitching prospects to the Colorado Rockies for Ryan McMahon, viewing this as a solid upgrade at third base while maintaining flexibility for further additions. This move reflects their internal assessment that pitching improvements are a more pressing need than upgrading their third base position. The Yankees are not ruling out adding another position player before the deadline. They are exploring options like Willie Castro or Amed Rosario to address their need for right-handed batters who can provide a balance to their increasingly left-handed lineup. However, the focus remains firmly on strengthening their pitching rotation. The acquisition of McMahon allows them to pursue this priority while still addressing a weakness at third base.
In our next story, unnamed NFLPA attorney warns of potential criminal investigation. The NFL Players Association, NFLPA, is facing potential criminal and civil investigations, according to an internal document obtained by ESPN. The document, titled Crisis Management, highlights financial actions that may be criminal and warns of immediate threats to the union. These threats stem from potential unfair labor practice charges from the National Labor Relations Board and a possible lapse in fiduciary duty oversight during the tenure of former Executive Director Lloyd Howell. The memo's release comes just days after the resignations of Howell and Chief Strategy Officer J.C. Tretter. While Tretter denies being under investigation, Howell has not responded to media inquiries. The potential criminal investigation centers around reports of union funds being used for expenses at a strip club, amongst other concerns. The ESPN report, based on the internal document, doesn't confirm an active criminal investigation beyond the existing probe into compensation for individuals on the One Team Partners board. However, the document strongly suggests the union anticipates such an investigation. The NFLPA now faces the possibility of both criminal and civil litigation, underscoring the seriousness of the issues raised in the internal memo and the potential legal battles ahead.
In our next story, Paramount and Skydance reveal merger closing date, new ticker symbol and other details. Paramount Global's merger with Skydance is expected to close on August 7, following regulatory approval. This marks the culmination of a years-long process to sell the parent company of Paramount Pictures and CBS. In an internal memo, co-CEOs George Cheeks, Chris McCarthy, and Brian Robbins expressed gratitude to employees for their hard work and dedication throughout the challenging merger process, highlighting Paramount's significant progress over the past year. The co-CEOs acknowledged the upcoming transition and promised timely updates to address employee questions. While Cheeks will remain with the newly formed company, McCarthy and Robbins are departing. The memo celebrated the team's achievements and Paramount's strong momentum, emphasizing the collective contributions across various departments in navigating a rapidly changing entertainment landscape. The merger, valued at over $8 billion, will result in the new company trading under the ticker symbol PSKY on the Nasdaq. While the announcement clarified key details like the closing date and stock ticker, questions remain about the future, including potential layoffs and the long-term strategy for the company's linear cable networks in the face of declining viewership. Shareholders have deadlines to elect their preferred form of consideration for their shares. The successful merger signifies a new chapter for Paramount, built on the foundation of employee dedication and navigating the complexities of the evolving media industry. The leadership praised the resilience and creativity of the workforce, emphasizing Paramount's improved position compared to a year ago.
In our next story, widely panned arsenic life paper gets retracted 15 years after brouhaha. In 2010, a NASA-funded study announced the discovery of a bacterium, GFAJ1, that seemingly thrived on arsenic instead of phosphorus, a fundamental element for life as we know it. The researchers claimed the microbe incorporated arsenic into its DNA, a finding hailed as potentially rewriting biology textbooks and impacting the search for extraterrestrial life. The announcement generated considerable excitement. However, this groundbreaking claim was quickly met with skepticism from the scientific community. Numerous researchers pointed out critical flaws in the study's methodology, including a lack of crucial experiments to confirm arsenic's role in the bacterium's DNA. They highlighted the possibility of phosphorus contamination in the growth medium, rendering the arsenic-based life claim questionable. Chemists argued that if the DNA truly contained arsenic instead of phosphorus, it would be unstable and degrade rapidly in water. Furthermore, critics noted that the bacterium's DNA actually contained significantly more phosphorus than arsenic, contradicting the central claim of the study. The subsequent critiques, published alongside the original study, effectively discredited the initial findings. The lack of rigorous experimental verification and methodological flaws undermined the claim of an arsenic-based life form, leaving the question of life's potential diversity open for further investigation.